Hey, what's going on, Catholic of Rome? I just got done watching your video for Tough Questions for Atheists #1. I'm going to go ahead and try to tackle a few of your questions. I'm going to go ahead and watch your other videos as well and try to answer those. I haven't seen them yet, so I don't know what the questions are, so anyway, here we go. First off, I would just like to say I appreciate the content of your video, that it's not an automatic debunking of any kind of science or evolution or anything like that. Like, you don't attack the atheists like a lot of other creationist video or Christian videos out there that like to come on here and say, oh, I'm going to debunk evolution in 4 minutes, or I'm going to give you a question that you cannot answer because blah 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 blah. You're very respectful, and you seem to be very open-minded, which is cool, and which is one of the only reasons, and which is why this is one of the only video series that I'm going to be posting a response to. Your first question, I believe, was what is the soul, or where does the soul come from? Well, see, the soul is like a like I would have to say like your shadow, you know, like an imaginary friend, something you feel with you if that's what you believe in. People in the Middle East and in China, like if you're Buddhist or Islamic and shit like that, they believe in like, you know, like they believe like in chakras and auras and like nirvana, like when you reach it, it's like this mind tranquility thing, and they believe in that. So I mean, like, every nation and every religion is different in how they depict what an inner, I guess, like an inner spirit you feel, like an inner being that you feel inside you. I mean, some people just call it a sixth sense. Some people call it intuition. It's something you just have with you, that you carry along with you. I mean, I don't call it a soul. I don't believe in the soul. I don't believe that my soul can be sold to some dude in, you know, with red horns and a pointy tail, that will, you know, damn me to hell. I just believe in an intuition, in an aura, if you will, a persona about you. I mean, I'm pretty sure as a Christian, or as a Catholic, excuse me, you've seen it. I mean, you've seen it in people. I mean, you talk to someone and just their aura, there's something about them that just isn't quite right to you. You haven't really talked to them for that long. You only like met them for like 5 minutes, but there's just something about them that you're not feeling, that you're not liking, you know. And you don't hate them. It's just there's just something about them. Or you meet someone and you shake hands with them and you talk to them for 5 minutes, and it's like you guys have known each other since like kindergarten, you know. And I guess that would be like my most basic description of what a quote-unquote soul is, on that whole origin. Next, you asked something about what is the origin of life. See, I and the rest of other people who are atheists or evolutionists or Darwinists or whatever you want to call us, really hate that question, because according to us, like, we can say strongly that you know what, there has not been a definitive scientific answer to that question. And I've seen other video responses to this question that's more of a science question and not necessarily a religious, non-religious question. As far as the origin of life, no one knows. Your answer, or a Catholic or Christian or creationist answer, is that God created the heavens and the earth, you know, Genesis 1:1, and in 6 days, and the seventh day he rested. And then that's an answer you are completely satisfied with, and that's cool. That's cool for you. As someone who looks at things a little bit more on a broader spectrum of not just looking at a book or looking at text, or one side of the story. I like to hear both sides of the story. I mean, if you had a friend who was going to get into a fight with another friend, and you know, and they were both your best friend, you love these guys, you guys went to high school together, whatever, you know, would you just automatically, because this guy said something to you that to you just made sense, would you just completely ignore the other guy's side of the story, or would you hear that other guy's side of the story and just be like, hey, you know what, like, this makes more sense? To me, then what yours makes sense, because yours is very I believe that the Bible's description, or a Christian or Catholic or whatever description of the origin of life and how life got here, is very vague, and that's just my whole take on that. You asked something else about what is the distinction between like life and death. Well, life is basically distinct, is defined as something that can sustain itself. Like you said, a rock or mud or dirt can't sustain itself. It's not alive. It can't eat. It doesn't get any energy from the sun. It can't feed itself. It doesn't drink water. It cannot reproduce. Things of that nature. Something that's alive is something that can, on its own, under its own power, without help of any other outside force, outside living thing, you know, known in science as a host, can sustain the life. I can sit here right now for the next 3 days and not take a drink, for the next 2 to 3 days, and not take a drink of water and not drink any food, and just sit on the couch, and my body will sustain itself without taking any energy in. My body needs energy to run, but it does not need energy necessarily to live. That's my organs that would shut down. See what I'm saying? I'm kind of like I said, I'm not a scientist, and I'm just a regular guy, you know, so I'm just answering you to the best of my rambling abilities. As far as intelligent life in the solar system goes, I mean, we have a Hubble telescopes and other telescopes out there, and satellites and things like that can scan for millions and millions and millions of light years away, or according to Catholics or creationists, 6,000 light years away, because there's no way that anything that exists or existed is more than 6,000 years old. So, I mean, then that's, I mean, if you think about that, I mean, if you even think about that on that spectrum, on going like, okay, you know, something is, I'll appeal to you in just saying that the universe is, in the world and everything is 6,000 years old. Okay, 6,000 light years away. Okay, go Google the speed of light and find out how fast it is, because I'm trying to make a video right now and I don't have time to go do it. But go Google how fast the speed of light is, and imagine that speed. It's something astronomically fast. So just know that right now. You already know it. I mean, just hearing the speed of light, any person with half a brain in them knows what the speed of light is. They just know that it's really quick, really fast. Okay, so imagine something going the speed of light for 6,000 years. Hell, imagine a Ferrari going for 6,000 years. How far away it could possibly get. I mean, a Ferrari can get from California to New York in 33 hours. Well, probably not 33 hours, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, a Ferrari can get from here to, I mean, if it was a straight drive, you know, no freeways and twists and turns from here to New York, it's like about 3,000 miles, you know. So if it was about 100 miles an hour in a Ferrari, it would probably take about like 300 and, you know, like 300 hours. So it'd take a couple days, you know, if you will. But anyway. So I mean, so just imagine a Lamborghini or Ferrari or anything like that, a jet engine, an F-14 going for 6,000 years, and how far away it could possibly get. Now you take that and you consider that the speed of light going 6,000 years out, you know, it might be a little hard for us to communicate with something that's that far out. You know, if there is intelligent life in the universe, then there is. If there isn't, then there isn't. That's just that. If God created the universe and it is vast as science or anybody else that looks up in the sky can see how vast and how humongous it is, if God only decided to make this tiny blue planet the one with life on it, then I don't know. I don't know if that says something about the creativity of said God, but that's just that. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a scientist, and I don't have a PhD or anything like that, you know, but I just answer your questions to the absolute best of my ability. And like I said, thank you for posting this series, and I look forward to more videos and being able to try to answer some of your questions. You know, I have an account on here. You can click on my name and send me a link, or comment me back, or video me back, or whatever you need to do. And maybe we can have like a not necessarily a debate or an argument, but maybe we can just have like kind of like a back and forth, you know, thing of like, you know, I think this, and things of that nature. I think it'd be fun. Anyway, man, take care of yourself, and Have fun.